Welcome to Yin Yoga. This practice is for being whole. And oftentimes we don't feel whole. And so we're going to do a lot of things to help you feel whole again, no matter what's going on with you physically, mentally, and emotionally. So Yin is great for finding wholeness for a couple of reasons, because life keeps us moving, doing, fixing, planning, managing, and controlling. That's the yang part of our life. Yin energy is the opposite. It's a counterbalance. The yin approach invites us to be rather than do, to allow rather than control, to feel rather than think, to sense, to notice, to welcome rather than resist. So I invite you to take that approach to our practice today. And when you go inside, you have the opportunity to listen and really hear what our body is telling us, and to watch with curiosity and compassion, not criticism. So I also invite you to take that approach today. So we're going to start off with a mudra practice. I'm going to stay up here to show you how to set your hands up. The thumb is going to go to the fourth finger on the right hand, and then these fingers are just sticking up. And then the thumb is going to go to your middle finger on the left hand, and those fingers are sticking up. So a slightly different position on each hand: thumb to ring finger, thumb to middle finger, and then just lay these on your lap. Okay, so I'll go back to my mat and I'll join you there. All right, so find any comfortable way to sit. Place your hands comfortably on your lap. And the mantra we're going to be using during this mudra practice is, I am whole. I am whole. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to say, I am whole 3 times out loud, 3 times in a slightly softer voice, 3 times in an even softer voice, 3 times in a whisper, and then 3 times to yourself, and then just settle into feeling I am whole. So let's go ahead and get started. If you feel safe to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths in and out of your heart center. I am whole. 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 Whisper, I am whole. I am whole. I am whole. Silently to yourself. So when you're ready, go ahead and gently blink your eyes open. You have given every part of your body, your mind, every cell, the message that you are whole. And you can do this whenever you need to do this, when you're feeling scattered or not feeling enough or feeling in pain. This is a really good way to bring you back to wholeness. So let's begin a little bit of gentle movement. Go ahead and widen your legs and then just slide a hand down one leg and then another leg. Just moving side to side a little bit, just a little bit of movement here. And then draw your arms up to the sky with an inhale and then bring them back on an exhale. Up to the sky with an inhale and back on an exhale. We'll do our first yin pose, which can be a wide-legged forward fold. You might need to set up a ledge or something in front of you to be able to settle into this pose. And just find a way that you can feel a sensation in your low back and your hips and all that without crossing into pain. And just settling into this pose. Anytime you want to, you can go back to that mantra, I am whole. 3-part yogic breath can be very helpful in yin poses. So you start by filling your belly, and then your ribs, and then your chest. And that's all up the front body. And then you release from the top down the back body. A softening, a grounding. Inhaling up the front body. Exhaling down the back body. Inhaling up the front. Exhaling down the back. So notice any thoughts. Notice sensations. Return your attention back to your breath and maybe to your mantra, I am whole. Very gently make your way up, slowly. If you have things in your way in front of you, move them out of your way. Draw your hands behind your back, draw your legs in toward each other. Lean back, maybe swishing your legs around a little bit, opening the chest. Just noticing how you're feeling. So now placing your feet toward each other in a butterfly position. And this will be a gentle somatic yoga move. Notice how far away your sides of your knees from the ground. Just take note of it. And then notice how far you can gently bend over without pain. Again, take notice of it. Now draw your knees up toward each other. Place your hands on the outer edge of your legs and gently start to have your hands resist as your legs draw out away from each other slowly. Go very slowly in this. And then when you get to what feels like your fullest range of motion, release the hands and let the knees just fall out. Do that 2 more times. Resisting. Let them go. And 3rd time. And let it go. Now go ahead and lean over again and see if you're able to lean further over without strain. So this is the way we're releasing contracted muscles and allowing our body to come back to its natural range of motion. We're not stretching it, we're releasing it. We're releasing it from this chronic tension, from this chronic sense that we are not whole, and allowing it to get to wholeness. You might want to rub your feet a little bit and rub the inside of your ankles, coming up the side of the ankle, just giving your body a little bit of love and attention and care. And then placing your hands behind your back, 2 points that are maybe right below the kidneys, and just give them a little bit of rubbing too. Just give yourself a little bit of love. All right, shake it out, loosen it up. Coming on to your hands and knees, maybe cushioning your mat. Now, putting a bolster or a rolled blanket under the ankles can be helpful for certain people. If you've either had an injury or your ankles just don't like being laid on. And the other thing you might consider doing is if your wrists are bothering you, you can always put your hands on blocks and allow your thumb to go toward the inside of the block so that your fingertips are hanging on the edge, putting less pressure on the outer edge of your wrists. So normally when we do a cat-cow, there's a lot of huge spinal movement, right? And for some people, that feels really good. But one of the ways to make a moving cat-cow a little safer is to add a bandha or a lock down here. So let me demonstrate what that would look like. So as you're inhaling, you are filling up even lower in your diaphragm so that your belly might drop out a little bit. But now as you exhale, just pull the belly in first. So my belly comes in. And so I'm not going to move my spine a huge amount the rounded way, but my belly's in, and then I'm going to drop my head down. So there's not a huge difference in the spine. Filling it back up again, you're releasing that lock in your pelvic area, then drawing that pelvis in to keep the back safe before you go into the other movement. Putting it back down. Again, this is if you have some low back issues and don't want to do a full range of motion. Plus, this really makes you aware of the pelvis and the diaphragm's connection with each other. So very gentle. And then if you are able to, widen your knees and go first, well, before we go all the way back, if you have a block, take the block and put it between your ankles. So my ankles are flat, which my body does not love at all. And I'm going to put a bolster under my rear, so it's a little less pressure, but I am trying to put a little bit of weight on the tops of these ankles. But I have a block also so that I'm not sitting directly back on it. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of pressure. And again, this may not be appropriate for you if you've had recent surgery. So you might just sit in a way or even tuck the toes in or keep yourself very, very supported here. There's a lot of sensation here. Okay, I'm going to come off of that. Whew, and remove things out of my way. And if you're not doing child's pose frontwise, you can always lay on your back and draw your knees into your chest that way for child's pose. So I'm setting up now for child's pose, a held child's pose. I'm putting that support underneath my ankles again. I'm widening my knees. And if my head doesn't come to the ground, I may elevate the ground with a block or another cushion and then go into this held pose. So go back to your mantra. I am whole. I am whole. I am whole is our mantra today. We're in a child's pose. I am whole. So very gently make your way out of the child's pose. You might want to do a downward facing dog as a transition. We are going to come back to our hands and knees one more time, but I'd like for you to try the dog with the bandha again, with the root lock. So as you're coming up into a dog, as you bend your knees a lot, inhale. As you begin to straighten your knees, draw that navel in as a root lock to keep your low back safe. Bending the knees, inhaling again. Exhaling, drawing in below the navel, not really hard, but just enough to support your low back. And bend the knees and come back down to hands and knees. Now stretch your left leg out behind you and begin to rock a little bit back and forth. And then I want you to try to, again, create that bandha in your pelvic area to connect that. So as I'm inhaling, as I'm rocking forward, but as I'm exhaling, I'm drawing in to try to support my pelvic area. Inhale, rocking forward. Exhaling, rocking back, drawing in to the stomach below the navel to support the pelvis area. Switch sides and just feel it on the other side. This is a good way to release your psoas. So as you rock back, you're inhaling. As you rock forward, Draw the navel in, feel the pelvis engage, release your oxygen. Rock back, rock forward on the exhale, and rock back and forward. And go ahead and release weight off your wrists and just see how you're feeling. Kind of an interesting little way to engage this area and get some wholeness down to this area. Oftentimes that's a place where we don't feel very whole. So come onto your belly for a few minutes. You might want to add an extra cushion if you don't like being on your belly without lots of cushioning. We're going to do the seal sphinx, but we'll warm up just with a little gentle somatic yoga. So nicely cushioned. Now take your left hand and place it under your forehead, palm down. The right hand is by my side, palm up. And then all I'm going to do is lift up to the left and come down. Lift up to the left and come down. And then the next time, add the opposite leg in and down. And lift up to the left and down. Take a rest between the two sides. Allow your legs to gently windshield wiper. Now place your right hand palm down under your forehead, your left hand palm up by your side, legs straight out. Just lift up to the right and come down. So we're integrating our back body to feel more whole. On the third time, go ahead and add the opposite leg. You're not going for height, you're going for length. Last time, draw both hands under your head, making a pillow with your arms, windshield wipering the legs. And then as you are ready, coming over onto your side. So just whatever side you're on, that you're facing me. I'm on my right side, but it's not that important as long as you're just able to see me at least the first time. I'm going to take a bolster under my head. A pillow might help, or a rolled blanket. And so on the side, you are again imagining that it's almost as if you're sitting in a high back chair. So you're not dropping your head forward. Your head would be even with the chair. Your whole back would be leaning against the chair. And I just want you to get a little maneuverability in the hips before we open up into a safe twist. So shift the hip forward by shifting the whole leg forward. And then shift the hip back by shifting that whole leg back. So imagine you start with your knees even. When you shift that top leg forward, now that top knee is ahead of the bottom knee. When you shift that hip back, now that knee is slightly behind. It's a very subtle move. Now let's add the shoulders in going the opposite way. So I'm going to shift that hip forward. I'm going to open up my shoulder to the back. Shift that hip back, draw my shoulder forward. Forward hip, shoulder back. shoulder forward, hip back. Now, raise this arm just halfway and just allow the hand to swing a little bit, just to loosen up the shoulder a little bit. All right. So now I want you to draw that knee in towards your elbow. And then I want you to straighten that leg slightly behind as your arm reach forward. Draw that knee into the elbow. Lengthen the leg slightly behind you, arm slightly in front of you. And third time. Good. Now we're going to do the opposite. Draw the knee into the elbow. Put that leg in front as you open up, and you might have to move your bolster for this one. As you open the arm either behind or above, draw that knee into the elbow, leg goes forward, arm goes back. Draw that knee into the elbow, leg forward, arm back, and then find a way to stay in this twist. Now, for me to stay in a twist, I'm going to take an extra bolster behind my back body so that my shoulder has something to lean onto, and I'll keep my top leg forward and then my head neutral. Decide how you want your head and breathe here. So my shoulders being supported on a bolster. You could support yours on a rolled blanket. And if it doesn't feel good with the arm straight out like that, you could keep your arm bent and tucked into the body. And just hold this pose for a couple of breaths and go back to the mantra, I am whole. I am whole. I am whole. I am whole. You can be whispering it. You can say it inside your head. But just feel what it is to be whole. So very gently, let's make our way onto our backs and just spend a minute noticing the differences between the side that you just worked and the side that you were leaning on. Now you could lengthen your legs if that doesn't bother you. If it does, keep them bent and just check in. What are you noticing? You know, I've been thinking a lot about this statement. Pain in life is inevitable. Suffering is optional. You don't ever have to suffer with anything going on with you. That is a choice you make. If you choose to acknowledge, accept, and move your way toward healing, then you can move out of pain. But when you are concentrated on suffering, then these practices don't work as well. And I've really gotten to that point in my life where, yeah, I wake up in pain. I have things go wrong, but I choose not to suffer from them. I choose to observe them and listen to them. What are they saying? Usually there's a message in them. All right, let's move on to our other sides. I'm going to turn around completely so that I'm still facing you. You don't have to do that. You just face away from me if you want. And we're laying completely on our side as if we're in a high back chair. So that's your aim, is to be, so in other words, don't lean your head forward. Your head would be leaning back against that high back chair. Your back is against that high back chair. Your legs are stacked bent as if they were on a chair, and your feet are touching. So just to slide that top leg forward, to move that hip forward, that top knee is now slightly in front of the bottom knee. Slide it back. Now it's slightly behind. Slide it forward. Slide it back. Add the shoulder in. When the knee goes forward, the shoulder opens up. When the knee goes back, the shoulder closes in front of you. Knee forward, shoulder back. Knee back, shoulder forward. Last time. And now come back to stillness. Now the next one I think we did is draw our arm up to the sky with the elbow bent and just pivot a little bit to get a little bit of mobility in that shoulder. Nice. Now the next series is to take the elbow toward the knee and then lengthen that leg behind you as the arm reaches in front of you. Elbow toward knee. So this is our contraction. This is our lengthening to gain range of motion. Elbow toward knee, leg behind, arm in front. Now to do the reverse of this, you might need to move your cushion. Elbow toward knee, leg goes forward, arm goes either up or away from you toward the side. Elbow toward the knee, leg forward, arm either behind or up. Last time, elbow toward knee and lengthening. This is called a body yawn. Now to set up in your held twist, you might need something underneath that shoulder. Maybe not. See, on this side, I don't necessarily need that. This side, I'm going to put the bolster between my knees. My body is able to open a little more. So you're opening into a twist, deciding where you want your head, and going back to your mantra, I am whole. I am whole. I am whole. I am whole. Now, as you're ready, move any props out of your way. Gently roll onto your back body. Maybe keeping your knees bent, maybe lengthening your legs, checking in with how your hips are feeling, how the shoulders are feeling. Whether your knees are bent or straight, just gently rock your head side to side without lifting the back of your head off the ground, releasing any tension. And then, if you can, draw your arms above your head on the ground, if that feels okay, and just begin to draw one leg away from you on the ground. So pulling that heel away. So it's almost like you're on a stretcher, and then release that. And then draw the other leg away from you on the ground, lengthening that side. Release that. Repeat this again, drawing one leg down, lengthening that side, release completely. Drawing the other leg down, lengthening, release completely. Bend up the knees. Draw the knees in toward the chest and circling. And maybe doing little circles away from each other. And reversing the direction. Placing feet back on the ground. Allowing your arms to go out in a T. Slowly windshield wipering. So we're going to do a second mudra today. The first mudra we did was the Vayana mudra for sending healing out to our extremities. This mudra is about feeling integrated and whole. So as you're ready, gently make your way up to any sort of comfortable seated position. So this mudra is called the Hakini mudra. And literally, you're just touching all your fingers together. Pinky to pinky, ring finger to ring finger, middle finger to middle finger, index finger and thumbs. And it's kind of making like a bowl shape. And then it's a globe. You're holding a globe. And just relax the shoulders back and down. And just allow the globe to be up against your body somewhere. Got it? Hakini mudra. And what this is about is integrating all facets of your being. So that's how you become whole, when you become integrated. So we're going to integrate all facets of our being today so we can feel more whole. I have to create a little table for myself, otherwise I can't read the words. I'm nearsighted and farsighted these days. But if I wear my glasses, they reflect in the camera, and you'd see like little lights in my glasses, so I don't wear my glasses while I'm teaching. Okay. So integration and harmony cultivated by the Hakini mudra optimizes your health and healing at all dimensions of your being. At the physical level, the gesture enhances circulation to all the systems of your body, supporting them in functioning harmoniously. This harmony within the body is further enhanced by the balance of the 5 elements cultivated by the gesture. At the subtle level, the gesture activates and integrates all 5 pranavayus while balancing and opening the first 6 chakras. At the spiritual level, the gesture naturally draws our awareness to the third eye, the Ajna chakra, which is the command center for the integration of all the dimensions of our being. It's right here. The overall integration at both the physical and subtle levels is symbolized by the globe shape of the hands in the Hakini mudra, representing our inherent wholeness and unity. Integrating all areas of your being is a guided meditation. So if you feel comfortable to do so, close your eyes. As you hold the Hakini Mudra, take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and the sensations awakened by the gesture. Notice how each inhaling breath flows upward from the base of your body to your collarbones, and how each exhaling breath smoothly descends, instilling a sense of relaxation and release throughout your entire being. Take several breaths to sense this whole body breathing, naturally cultivating integration and harmony. You will enhance this integration by directing your breath into various planes of your body individually, culminating in an experience of unity. Begin by directing 3 full breaths into the left side of your body, sensing how the left body breathing naturally awakens the receptive, intuitive aspect of your being. Next, direct 3 full breaths into the right side of your body, sensing how this right body breathing naturally awakens your active, dynamic polarity. Now sense your breathing flowing through both the left and the right sides of your body evenly, integrating them as a harmonious unity. With left and right integrated completely, now divide your body into front and back. Begin by directing 3 full breaths into the back of your body. Next, direct 3 full breaths along the front of your body, attuning to the conscious aspects of your being, the habits and the qualities that make up your personality. Now breathe into the back and the front of your body evenly, integrating subconscious and conscious as a seamless unity. With the left and right, back and front planes integrated completely, next divide your body into the lower part from the waist down and the upper part from the waist up. Begin by directing 3 full breaths into the lower part of your body, creating a sense of grounding and stability, allowing you to feel completely present in your physical being. Next, direct 3 full breaths into your upper body, allowing you to attune to the subtle dimensions of your being, opening a doorway to your inherent spiritual qualities. Now breathe into your lower and upper body evenly, harmonizing the material and the subtle dimensions of your being. Finally, breathe freely throughout your entire body, sensing left and right, back and front, bottom and top, integrated as a harmonious unity. Affirm your integration as you repeat the following 3 times. Through the integration of all areas of my body, I experience complete wholeness. Through the integration of all areas of my body, I experience complete wholeness. Through the integration of all areas of my body, I experience complete wholeness. Release the gesture. Sense your complete integration. When you're ready, gently blinking your eyes open. And then find your way onto your backs. So make yourself as comfortable as possible, almost as if you're going to sleep. I'm going to put you through a short Yoga Nidra practice for integration. It's not the full one that I usually do, which involves about 25 minutes, but this is a shortened version. So once you are comfortable, feeling the ground supporting you, bring your attention to the world around you. Listen to any sounds outside your room. Now listen to the sounds inside your room. Allow yourself a moment to become aware of all sensations around you. Any sounds, smells, temperature. Visualize your own body resting on the floor and become aware of your own physical presence. Begin to move inward and see if you can discover a place of safe haven within. A place where you feel secure, loved, calm. Perhaps there is a person or a certain place that helps accentuate this feeling of safety and well-being. Spend a moment visualizing this place and know that you are able to return to it at any time during this practice, or indeed any time during your life when you need it. Now bring your awareness to the back of your body on the floor. Keep as still as possible. Notice each part of your body. Notice the backs of your feet touching the floor, the backs of your legs, the backs of your hips, the spine, your shoulders, the head. Noticing your right arm touching the floor. Noticing the left arm touching the floor. Moving our attention to the front of the body, noticing your toes. On the left foot. Noticing your toes on the right foot. Noticing the top of your left foot. The top of your right foot. The left shin. The right shin. The knee on the left. The right knee. Your left quadricep. The right quadricep. The left hip bone. The right hip bone. The pelvis. The left rib cage. The right rib cage. Your left chest. The right chest. The top of your left shoulder. The top of your right shoulder. The fingers on your left hand. And the top of the arm of the left hand. The fingers of the right hand. The top of the arm of the right arm. Your face. The top of your head. Now bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the breath entering the body through the nostrils. Follow the breath as it moves into the chest and down toward the abdomen. And then follow the breath as it moves up from the abdomen to the chest and back through the nostrils. Feel the enlivening quality of your inhale and the relaxing quality of your exhale. Feel each breath as energy and count your breath. Inhaling to the count of 6. Exhaling to the count of 6. Do that 2 times. Without judging or trying to change anything, acknowledge any feelings or emotions that are currently present within you. Whatever you notice, be specific. Acknowledge how it feels. And then try to imagine the opposite feeling or emotion, especially if you're feeling an uncomfortable feeling or emotion. And if you can't imagine the opposite feeling, then imagine what neutral feels like. Come back to your breath for a moment. Now notice any thoughts, memories, or images that might arise. looking at them completely without judgment. Perhaps you notice a belief or even a judgment about this practice. Notice that. Whatever you're noticing, also try to notice the opposite of the thought or belief. Begin to notice images that are coming up. One image after another. When you see an image, then see if you can see an opposite image. For instance, a sun and a moon, an animal, and maybe a rock. Clouds, clear sky. A busy street, an empty place in nature. The mountains, the sea, a large animal, a small animal. See yourself in the mirror, and then try to see how other people see you. So gently returning back to feeling your body on the ground and the space around you in your physical environment. Start to notice any sounds, temperature, smells in your environment. And then draw your attention even further away from you in a minute and see if you can notice things outside, away from you for a moment, to bring you completely back to physical presence. We've now completed this mini Yoga Nidra practice. This signals the end of class. Gently make your way up to seated if you're not there already. And then gather in anything that helps you feel more whole. Draw your hands into the heart as we all together say, Namaste.